And we're back, Jonathan.
Another episode of the Road to Code.
That's right. Man, we're on episode 15. This is cool.
Yeah.
Like this is going really good. We haven't run out of any material. The material's been going really well. Been some really good stuff. You've done a ton of learning, huh?
Everything's still working. I'm still learning. Oh, yeah.
What are you currently working on that you're learning on your own?
I'm also doing React on my own.
Cool.
Almost done with that. And then also doing just editing all these videos too.
Editing the videos. And then we're about to launch the Road to Code website that we registered. I don't know what episode it was, maybe like first, second, or third. Yeah, maybe the fourth episode. We registered the Road to Code. You can find a full video of that, how we did that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we put some static website saying, hey, we're under construction. But I think now we're actually going to launch like a full-blown website with the blog.
It's going to look like an actual website now.
It's going to look like an actual website. Yeah, that should be coming up shortly.
Super excited to work on that.
Sweet. All right. Let's talk about the merch.
Oh yeah, all of our merch still available.
Did we here, let me share my browser. Where is my browser? Did we figure out what was the short URL for? Where do I go?
Teespring.
Springs.com. I don't think that's the right Teesprings. Is it T-Spring?
No, TEE.
TEE.
Spring.
All right, so don't go to Teesprings, but go to Teesprings, right?
Oh, sorry, no S. No S.
TEE spring.com.
There we go.
There we go. And what do we look for?
I haven't changed the name, so it's still going to be my store.
Under Teesprings?
Yeah. Wait.
My store.
Dash. Oh, sorry. My dash store.
My dash store.
11726.934.creator. -spring.com. So there's no T actually.
Like that?
Yep.
And that will take us to the Road to Code merch store
with all of our products.
Yeah. So there's going to be some free merch available, right?
Yep.
This episode is scheduled to be published on June 20th. And that will put us a week before we pick a winner to win some of this merch. And so the merch itself qualifies you if we don't have like a full list of requirements, but we're kind of making them up here on the fly because we do have some limitations and we don't mean to not give away stuff. We actually do want to give away, but one is, I think we have to say, you got to live in the US, 50 states, because shipping out to the rest of the world is going to be a little bit difficult. But we'll leave that one open. But we might be able to do, we might be generous enough to ship out anywhere.
For any of those out of out of country viewers.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't cost us $100 to ship to you, we'll do it, because man, it's some of these countries can get pretty expensive. But the main requirement is that you subscribe to the channel, you hit the bell to notify you when new episodes are coming up, and new episodes coming up, and you like one of our videos.
Yeah.
Those are the three main requirements that we're asking you for. And if you do that, your name will be entered into a raffle, which we're going to pick on June 27th episode. When that episode gets released, we'll announce a winner. And if you are the only one who subscribed, clicked the bell, and liked one of our videos, then you automatically win. That's pretty straightforward. There's no randomization at that point. Otherwise, if we get more than one, we're gonna assign you a number from, like, I don't know, 1 to 10, if we have 10 subscribers that liked and clicked the bell. And we're gonna write a program live on the air. And the program will decide randomly what number gets chosen. And if that number gets chosen and that number is tied to that person wins some free merchandise. We'll get a hold of you. We'll let you pick from the t-shirts to the tote bag to the coffee mug, and we will ship it out to you.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're super excited. We're going to put in an order for some sample merch so that we can give away some more. We'll do this once a month at least to be able to give out some of this merch. We're excited to have people wear it, use it, or drink out of it. Would that be pretty appropriate to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we're still looking for a way to shorten this up, but I think it'll be worth putting this in the comments so that people can easily click on the merch store.
Yeah.
And so we'll grab that. We'll put it in the comments so that you can go to the store, order, or if you don't want to order and you want some free merchandise, you want to join the raffle, become one of our subscribers, click the bell, and like any one of our videos. And so
we're giving this stuff out.
We're giving it out
For
like overstock. We're overstocked at this point. We have so much of it, we're going to give it away one person at a time. So yeah, this is pretty cool.
Cool.
All right. I got to plug in. I got to plug something in.
Yes.
All right.
It's finally been released.
During the whole pandemic, I started looking into tutorials and actually creating videos. Mm-hmm. And so I took an author's course to be able to create tutorials. And I practice. There's some videos that I put up during my whole study of being an author for tutorials. Here, let me bring up. Let me share Chrome again. So if you go to YouTube and you look for a fresh developer, all one word, you'll see this little orange guy right there. Go over to my channel.
That's you.
What was that again?
That's you.
That's me, a fresh developer. And if you go over to my playlist, What is C# is one of my first playlists that I created while working on how to become an author. And so this is the first one. And I used the same tactic when I created videos. So I signed a contract with a website called thinkster.io. And they have this start building full stack applications. And yes, you can see, you can choose Vue.js, you can choose Angular, or you can choose React as your front end. And for the back end, you can choose Python, which runs on Django, Node, which is Node.js, or Django again. I'm sure there's another one, right? Oh, Ruby on Rails. There's one for Ruby on Rails. And so I actually ran into this through another person who I was mentoring, or I am mentoring actually still, when it comes to software development. And this person found this site and they say, hey, I found this site. He's a Python developer. And he said, I found this site, it's really good. Their approach is really cool. There's a lot more reading than there is video tutorials, and they give you exercises, and you end up learning a lot better than just doing this passive learning through videos. And so he found this, building full stack or mastering full stack development. And what they did is they recreated a website called medium.com. And it's a blogging site. You create your own account here, and you can start blogging on Medium. And essentially what they did is they called it Conduit. And so they made it open source. So you can go to GitHub and check out their open source. And so you can go and pull down any of the source code in order to be able to to visit their source code and use it. And so the Medium website, which is a lot more advanced, there's better styling and whatnot, but they do have the Conduit website, which is, a test site. And this is running one of the front end technologies, and it's also running one of the back end technologies, and I don't know which is running. But the whole thing is that you're able to pick your front ends, which is React and Redux, AngularJS, or Angular 2.0, and or Vue. They also have Vue, and you can also choose your backend, your server code. So they got Node, they got the Django, and they got Ruby. Now I noticed that they didn't have C#. So what I did is I contacted Joe Eames over at Thinkster. He's the CEO and president of the company, and I said, I looked at his .NET portion of it, and I said, hey, I'd like to do the Conduit API using C#.
That's cool. It has your name too.
It does. And so essentially you could learn how to create the server side of this Conduit website, which is a clone of the Medium website. You can either use Python, you can use Ruby, or you can use Node.js. And now with my new videos, you can use C# in order to be able to create this API that they are using. And so, yeah, so there's a whole ton of videos in here. And I believe that the intro is free. Setting up the solution is free. You can go in there and view that. NuGet Package Manager, that's also free because there's a bunch of packages that need to be installed. There's no secret on what is needed to build an application. And authentication and authorization registration part 1 is free, as well as part 2. So you get to learn all these different technologies about security, generics, using interfaces, setting up dependency injection, customizing error pages or error response codes between 400 and 422. You also get to work with the DB context. This is all using Entity Framework in the backend. you end up creating this website, or not the website, but the web API in an asynchronous manner, which means that your website becomes asynchronous. So while one process is doing something like with the database, with the file system or whatever, that process gets freed up to go and serve up another request, and it goes and finishes up. And when this process is done, another thread or process will pick up where this first one left off and finish it off, so that it's kind of just, you're kind of like juggling, you know, the requests, and it becomes very responsive, very fast. Remember that C# is not a scripted language. It's actually compiled down to machine code. And so you get like very, very fast response from these APIs. You learn about extension methods. You learn about cryptography.
Whoa.
If you want to learn how to create an encrypted password, like if you want to learn what happens when you provide a password to websites like Amazon, Google, this is going to explain to you what is going on in the back end. And so we get into the cryptography. We end up going into using utilities like AutoMapper. So like when you're transferring information from one object to another, you have to sit there and write the code. And we wrote the code when we did the console application. Remember we did that?
Mm-hmm.
But there's utilities that do that for free. You know, you can just download a utility like AutoMapper, and it's open source, it's free, it's available. We're going to be using in this tutorial, it's using what they call JSON Web Token, which is a modern way of verifying a user and authenticating them. So you get to learn about that. And yeah, you get all the way to, I take you all the way through to make sure that that registration endpoint is working. And then once you get into the login, then you have to pay. But you get a whole lot of other stuff in there.
Yeah. That's almost half of the course.
That's almost half of the course that you get for free. Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, there's like a lot of stuff. And there's exercises in between. Excuse me. There's exercises in between. And the very last portion, you get to build it out on your own with my guidance, of course. I don't just send you out without a net. And so, so yeah, so you get some guidance, you get some solutions to the exercise, and you get to build a whole API point on your own to learn how to create APIs. You get to keep your code. The code is freely available on my GitHub. So if you want to skip the whole tutorial, you already know about it. You just want the actual code. You can go over to iDriveDiesel 2006/conduit over on github.com. And this is the real world API, REST API using ASP.NET Core and C#. You can download it and you get all the code.
Cool.
You also get to look at what they call tags. So as you go through the course and something doesn't work, you can go and download the tag, and that'll be the working code for the end of that exercise. And so you can go and compare to see what it is that you did wrong and fix it in your code to make it work. Or you can just download specific portions of it. So it's all there.
Cool.
So yeah, that was a quick little plugin for the Conduit API written with ASP.NET Web API. Yeah, check it out. And shoot me questions over on, I guess, you can either shoot me questions on, what's that one website with the birdie? Twitter, that's right. Send me a tweet. Or what's that one famous website that all the kids are using right now?
The Instagrams.
Instagrams, that's right. Yeah. So, I'm on both of those. I'm also on Facebook, LinkedIn. all those good old places. So shoot me any question you want regarding this. If something doesn't work, I'll fix it. But yeah, check it out.
Cool.
That was my plug. All right. So Jonathan, where did we leave off last time?
Yes. Let me share my screen. All right. So we finished all of this stuffs. We have all the deletes, the gets, the creates, and yeah, we're ready to.
So we got our basic CRUD working.
Yeah.
All right. So we got our basic CRUD working, and my instinct was to like, let's charge forward, let's start building this React website that we can go and put a front end to this, right? But then I thought about it and I was like, whoa, wait a second. Have we broken anything?
Yes, we have.
What did we break?
Our console does not work anymore, for sure.
Can we try that? Can you right click on the significant console app and debug it? So if you right click and go down to debug and start a new instance.
There were build errors.
Though that sucks. So let's go, yeah, go ahead and close this.
Okay.
Let's look at, so if you right click on it and you build it, what's breaking in there?
There is no argument given that corresponds with the required formal parameter birth dates.
So double click on that. So when we go and build birth dates, go ahead and right click and go to definition. Yeah, that's the constructor. Remember I said all classes or all blueprints come with the constructor free, no charge. But the moment you override it, then you're responsible for that. And either you pay the price or you have to have your caller pay the price of making sure that all requirements are fulfilled prior to building this blueprint or this class in memory. And when they build it in memory, they build it as an object. And so we broke that because we're no longer providing from the console application, we're not providing any type of information that allows you to go and build it, right? And it's not the repository that's breaking, I don't think. Maybe it is. Oh yeah, the repository is breaking because we're not providing the iBirth dates data. So if you right click on birth dates and you go to implementation, actually iBirth dates.
Oh.
Go to implementation. And you go down to the birth dates constructor down on line 130. We need to pass in the connection string. So that's also an issue. So we've created some dependencies on these objects, and each one has to pass information from one to the other. But the way that we resolve that in the API is that we use this pattern called dependency injection, or as they call it, it's a subset of inversion of control. We've allowed a third party to manage those dependencies for us. We said, hey, when we create these objects, you are responsible for making sure that all the dependencies come along with it, And so that's where the console application fell short. And there's a ton of work that needs to be done. But I think one of the easiest ways to do it is to create the console application the way that the API is configured. So let's right click on that birthdates.cs tab, the tab up on top, and then close all files, close all tabs. And let's go up to the significant API and open up the program CS file. See the program CS file?
Yes.
Program, there you go, program right below that, there you go. And so, and if we compare that to the console app program CS file. You see how there's on line 18, there's a main.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go back to the other program, you can close that tab. Oh, not that one, but open up the program. So close this tab right here. Close the significant project and then open up the significant API program. It's above. So yeah. Open up the program.cs. So there's something in common here, right? They both have a program file, mm-hmm. and they both have a main method. Mm-hmm. And so that main method is very significant, no pun intended here, significant project that we have. But what's significant about it is that every application that comes from the heritage of C and C++ require this main method. And when you launch an application, after you've compiled it, it actually looks for that main method as its main entry point. Okay. And so that's what these two have in common. The web API is an old-fashioned console application that creates a website. And a lot of people think that this is very old-fashioned, but console applications are still very much in use these days. You know, as we can see, this is a modern web API that's using an old-fashioned console application, right? Mm-hmm. And you'll notice that it's creating this thing called create host builder, which is just a method down on line 19. Mm-hmm. And it returns a host create default builder, and then it passes on the job of configure the web host and says, hey, and if you want to customize anything, go do it in the startup file. So what's interesting here is that create host builder, we can reuse that for our own console application. And it would work exactly as the web API, but remain as a console application.
All right.
You with me on that?
Yeah.
Cool. So why don't we split these windows here? So if you right click on it, and you see down at the bottom, it says horizontal document group. Go ahead and do a horizontal. Okay, cool. And on the bottom window, I'm sorry, on the top window, let's bring line 10 all the way up to the top. Actually, no. I mean, scrolling it. Oh, sorry, scroll it to the top. Okay, cool. That way we could see the whole body. All right. And then let's do the same thing down at the bottom window. Go ahead and click in there and do a Control MO. Cool. All right. So we're going to want to do the same thing like what they have on line 19. So go ahead and go to the end of line 18 on the bottom window. Mm-hmm. Go to the end and press enter twice. And so in here, we're going to create the method just like it is on line 19, public static iHost builder, create host builder. .48 for a moment. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up dependency injection in here. But we need a couple of things. The first thing that we need is we need a file where we can hold our configuration, okay? And that configuration is going to be in a file called appsettings.json. So right click on the significant console app project.
Yep.
And we're going to add a new item, the first one. So in here, the type of item that we need to add is, can you scroll down in the center pane and look for anything that says JSON? Ah, there it is, JavaScript JSON configuration file. And we're going to name that app settings. App settings. All lowercase, one word, no spaces.
Got it.
App settings.json. It's a JSON file. Yeah. And let's go ahead and get rid of all that stuff. And we'll go ahead and open up curly braces, open, close curly braces. And then in line 2, go ahead and type in connection strings, capital C, capital S, all one word. And then put a colon at the end. Oh, it didn't put, you have to put double quotes around it. Interesting that it didn't do that. Let's go over to the worker class. And let's create a constructor after line 31. Go to the very end of line 31 and press enter a couple of times. Line 131, sorry.
Okay.
And then type in CTOR and then tab twice. CTOR. There we go. Inside of those parentheses on the worker, you're going to type in birth dates. And then control period to resolve the namespace.
Oops.
Control period.
I always push P. I don't know why.
And then, yeah, using significant data. And then space.
Space.
And then go ahead and select that lowercase birth dates. And then control period again. And let's go ahead and create and assign field birth dates. The second option. There you go. All right. Wait, did you do control Z and do a control period again?
Oops.
It's the first one.
Oh, you said the second one.
Oh, the second one. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. And then comma. Wait, this is birth dates? Oh no, we want the birth dates repository. Control Z. Sorry about that. It's birth date repository. There's no S on that repository.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, control period or, yep, the repository. And then space, and let's bring in the name for the parameter. Yep, that's fine.
Birth dates repository.
Yep. And then control period, and let's create a field.
There we go.
And then comma. And we need to bring in I configuration. Capital I, capital C. And then control period and bring in a namespace. And then space. I think it's just going to bring in as configuration. Yep. And then control period. And let's assign the field. Yep, the first one. Cool. And then comma. And we're going to do I logger. And then we're going to do open and close the ankle brackets. And in there, we're going to type in worker, capital W, worker. And then control period to bring in the namespace. Yep. And then space after the close ankle bracket. And take the suggested name. And then control period again to create a field. Cool. Let's do a control S, control shift S, and a control shift B. And let's see if it builds.
Oh, whoops. B.
Control shift B.
Yeah. There it is. It's going. It's working.
Oh, build failed. Oh, let's look at the error list, see what's coming up. See the error list tab? Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's repo. So we need to replace. Oh, I got an idea. Highlight that birth date repository on line 15.
Oh.
Yeah, highlight that one. And then right click and rename it. And rename it to underscore repo. Lowercase R-E-P-O. Yep, press enter. So remember, it's looking for underscore repo. That's what we ended up naming it. So let's do a control S and control B again. Control shift S, control shift B. And let's see if it builds.
Sorry. There we go. Ah.
What do we got? As long as it's not the same errors, we're making progress. Your namespace definition, click on that first one. Double click on it. Okay, so we got one too many curly braces.
All right.
And then control, let's see, you could do a control KD to beautify it. There you go. All right, control S, control shift S, control shift B.
Oh.
Let's see what else. All right, let's double click on that. Let's see what we got.
Repo.
So, oh, because these are static. So let's remove the static keyword from all those methods.
Static.
You could have just done a control KD, that would have fixed it for you.
Oh. All right.
Control shift S and control shift B again.
Succeeded.
Yes. So let's see if it works. I mean, basically what we did is we transferred all the logic that normally runs for a web API. We transferred it over to your console application. And all we did was like, hey, we're using dependency injection.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're missing one more thing. Let's go look at the startup.cs file. And if you look at line 33,
Mm-hmm.
you see how we have that I service provider birth dates connection string. We need that inside those parentheses. Inside, so we need all that. And we need that in your program.cs file of the significant app. And that's going to be for the line 35. Oh no, close this one. You don't need this one.
Oh, this one, right? Nope.
No, leave that one open. No, go ahead and close this program.
Oh, it's over here.
Close it. Yeah. And open up the one inside the console app, the program inside the console app. So actually it's already there, huh? Oh, because we copied it. I think we're good. Let's right click on the console app and debug and create an instance and see if it works.
Debug.
Oh, connection property. Significant. Okay, so this one here. Let's go ahead and look at view details. Connection string has not been initialized. So at the stack trace, click on that on that little glass. No, the glass.
Oh.
Yeah, click on that. So this right here, permission demand. Okay, go ahead and close this and close the other window. And let's hover. Go ahead and click on the X on that exception unhandled. And can you click on the connection const string on line 132? Hover over that. The other one, the one on the left. Yeah. Oh, so it's a null. It hasn't brought it in. Okay. Let's go ahead and stop this. And let's go over to the program.cs tab. And let's put a breakpoint on line 33.
Break.
Yeah, so you have to go all the way to the gray area and click on there.
Oh.
Yeah. And let's run it again.
All right. We have it over here.
Oh, no, you can't run it like this. We have to right click and debug. So stop this. You have to right click on the console app and debug. Because the console app is not our startup project. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to Visual Studio and step over this. And let's hover over connection string on line 33. Const string, sorry. Yeah. Okay. I know what we're missing. Go ahead and stop this.
Okay.
This always gets me. So you see on the right hand where it says significant console app, hover over app settings.json.
Oops.
And then right click on there. And go to properties. And then you see where it says copy to output directory. It says do not copy. So go ahead and click on the down arrow and always copy always. And let's go ahead and save this and run it again. So right click on the console app. Okay, step over this. And then hover over that const string, see what we got in there. Yes, it worked. Okay, let's remove that breakpoint. And then continue.
Oops. Continue.
Continue. The continue on top, just click on continue. Oh,
Got it back.
look at that. Our console application is working again.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is good enough. I'm happy right here.
Cool. We got everything back.
We got everything back. And we didn't touch any of that code.
Mm-mm.
It was all configuration within the console app itself. You know, we just had to move some code over to that worker file.
Cool.
But go ahead and close this. Let's go back and do a quick review of everything that we did. So what we did here in the program is we created the host builder and we told it to build us a host, okay? And that host is responsible for setting up our environment, just the way it's responsible for setting up a web API environment. But we didn't use any of the web stuff. We just said, hey, we're not going to use any of that. We just want you to configure our application so that we can go ahead and grab our configuration from the environment and be able to load our connection string from this app settings JSON file. And then we said, and when you're running, go ahead and set up our dependency injection container. This is the inversion of control, right? Where we're giving control of this host to go and set up all of our dependencies. Whatever needs to be injected into object that it's built, it's responsible for doing all that. We don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then all we did was move the code from the program.cs file over to our worker, which we specified on line 17. We said, activator utilities, go and create an instance of our worker and run it inside of our host services. And then we called the worker.run method, right? So if you go over to worker,
Mm-hmm.
worker.run, go to the run method on worker.cs tab.
Oh. The worker.
And the run method, expand line 19, basically took, it's replaced by our main method
Mm-hmm.
that we previously had. We just moved all that code. And then we moved all the methods and removed the static so that now it just becomes an instance of the class. And everything works the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and go to the Git changes tab and check everything in. I think it'll be fine if you just check it into the main. You're the only one that's modifying this. Fix the console application.
All right. That's
kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is actually a good place to stop. Pretty
Cool.
happy with the progress. So everything is in the GitHub repository. People can go and check it out. You can go and grab all the code and see how it works. We're doing some pretty complicated stuff here now. It's even pushing my boundaries.
Oh yeah.
Cool. All right. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Of the road code.